Toyota's Corolla Cross makes a lot of sense for somebody looking for a vehicle that can do as many things as possible while still being fairly small and fairly affordable. And now for the 2023 model year, you can get it in an all-wheel drive hybrid option. We've tested the normal gasoline model on the highway and didn't get a super fantastic result. So, do we think this hybrid model will improve upon it? Tonight we find out. Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and tonight we've got the real-world highway fuel economy test on the 2024 Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid. In this test, we're going to head out on the highway and do 50 miles out and 50 miles back, averaging 70 miles per hour, to get a realistic fuel economy number for this subcompact crossover. And before we get started, let's hop out and take a look at it. This is the SE Nightshade version, and I do regret the fact that we have roof rails on here. So theoretically speaking, whatever highway fuel economy result we get could be slightly improved upon by not having those on the car. However, I do have to say, if I owned one, I might keep the roof rails on because this is a very capable vehicle. It is a little bit on the smaller side. I personally, in my sort of lifestyle, would probably find myself into a RAV4, but for somebody without kids and without using the back seat too much, I can definitely see the appeal of this model. We've done a lot of lifestyle-y things with it throughout the week. So if you do want to see more on the Toyota Corolla Cross, check the link below. Like I said, we've got reviews of the non-hybrid, the standard version. We got reviews of this one. We've got an infotainment breakdown, a review on the JBL sound system. All of that can be found below. So why do we do this test? Well, the EPA's highway fuel economy test, which gives this Corolla Cross 38 miles per gallon on the highway, that test only averages 48 miles per hour, and it has a lot of speed ups and slowdowns on it. But we know there are plenty of people who do longer trips at steady state highway speeds and would like to know what sort of numbers you can realistically expect here in the real world. So in order to test that out, we're going to head over to the gas station here, fill up, go out and do 100 miles, come back, fill up at the same pump using the same 3-click fueling method, and get a result. Tire pressures have been set to their door placard 33 psi cold, and we're going to run the climate control at 73 degrees auto. This SE model does have auto climate control, even if it's only one zone. It does look like somebody is at both of our preferred fueling spots here. Oh, and they're just leaving. Why, thank you very much, Mr. Mercedes. All right, let's hop out and fill it up. 4.941 gallons is what we ended up putting in for this first fill. And before we start the engine, we're going to reset the car's trip computer and our GPS. And we are ready to begin. Now we do have a few different drive modes here on the Corolla Cross Hybrid. We've got Sport, Normal, and Eco. We're going to run this test in Eco. And we're going to take it nice and easy over to the highway. It's about 0.3 miles away, and pick up the test from there. Now the goal of this test isn't to hypermile. We're not trying to get the best possible fuel economy for this car, but rather a realistic figure. So in order to do that, we're getting up to highway speed here at a reasonable pace, and I'm going to set my cruise control to a GPS indicated 71 miles per hour. That should allow us to average 70 over the whole test. Looks like our speedometer is reading a little bit low compared to the GPS. Let's get up to proper speed here and see what we got. Now this hybrid powertrain is much more pleasant getting up to speed and passing and just general day-to-day driving than the standard powertrain. However, I do think we do have a little bit of a wheel imbalance. I'm getting a slight vibration. Hopefully that doesn't get any worse. 73 on the dash is giving us 71 on the GPS, so that is where we're going to settle in. And remarkably, in this SE model, we get Toyota's quite competent active lane keeping feature. So you can see here, if I were to take my hands off the wheel, centers itself nicely in the lane, and it's not the type of system where you can keep your hands off the wheel for an extended period of time, but you just kind of keep a light little bit of hand, and it's a lot less frustrating than some of the other systems that require a really aggressive reminder that you're paying attention. This is just a little tiny bit of pressure on the wheel lets it know that, hey, I'm still here, I got you. It's quite a bit quieter when we close the sunroof shade there because of those roof racks, but other than that, not too bad here on the highway. Now, right, lane hog, this has got to be very exciting for you, having a genuine, real analog tachometer right here in an affordable Toyota product. This seems to be the one for you, and don't you worry, I've already got a tack shot for you. So we're going to continue on with the test and catch up with you at the end. We're going to evaluate this JBL 9-speaker sound system with some members' requested tracks, and we'll give you more of my highway impressions at the end. But in the meantime, enjoy this time lapse of the entire trip. Coming into the end of the highway fuel economy test here in the Corolla Cross Hybrid. Really not an outstanding test, and that is sort of the mantra of the Toyota Corolla Cross. It is straightforward and predictable, and that's kind of what I expected here for this highway fuel economy test. Seat comfort initially is good, however, there isn't any sort of adjustable lumbar for these seats, and I have found that after an hour or two sitting in the seat, my lower back gets a little bit sore. I find myself adjusting the recline to try to take a little bit of pressure off my lower back, so that is something that I would wish for a little bit different. Also, I do wish that the center console lid slid forward and backward, because at about 5'10", average size arms, if I want to rest my elbow on the center console lid and hold the steering wheel, it's just a little too far for comfort, and I'm right on the edge on my bone. So that could be improved upon a little bit as well. It'd be very easy for them to just add an adjustable lid in a mid-cycle refresh. In terms of fuel economy, we're coming right in about what I expected, 37.5, and I bet you as we coast off the highway and take it nice and easy back to the pump, that'll get rounding up to 38 pretty easily. And yeah, you're just a little bit under EPA, but really pretty good. A lot of hybrid cars, especially crossovers, they don't quite meet their EPA, so we're pretty happy with that. Also, of course, we got to do our tack shot with this great tachometer, and when you're kind of running about just over 70, I mean, you really can get about 1700 RPM. I'm really impressed with how low the revs are in this car. Obviously, they change pretty dramatically because of the CVT, but if you're kind of steady throttle, steady pressure, still below 2,000, that's pretty good for a 2-liter inline-4 naturally aspirated engine. So we're going to get this back to the pump, fill it up, and see what our final calculated number is. We ended up putting in 2.640 gallons back into the tank, and after 100.3 miles of traveling, divided by 2.640, giving us just barely under 38 MPG. So coming right in there on the EPA, and getting that nice little round up from the car's readout, 38 miles per gallon, cruising on the highway here in the Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid, even with the little roof rails, crossbars I should say. Now that's 5 miles per gallon better than the standard non-hybrid Corolla Cross, and better than every other subcompact crossover we've tested, especially the all-wheel drive ones. So definitely a compelling reason to go for the hybrid model, on top of the fact that it is just nicer and smoother to drive around. Unfortunately, we only have a 10.6 gallon fuel tank in here, so but 10.6 gallons times 38 miles per gallon is giving you an effective highway cruising range of just a hair over 400 miles here in the Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid. Just kind of getting that bare minimum of acceptability. Decent amount, and like I said, you're going to see a lot better than that if you're kind of cruising, mixed driving around town and everything, but if you're just cruising highway, you should be able to barely squeeze out 400 miles. So thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on the Corolla Cross, check the link below. We've got our full review, we've got the JBL sound system test, and, of course, coverage of the non-hybrid model as well. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.